Spoiler warning! If you haven't played the game, go do that before watching this video. Or don't, if you feel like being a naughty little shit. Alright guys, I'm not gonna beat around the bush and drag this on longer than it needs to be. Today, I'm going to be seeing if I can beat Resident Evil 4 Remake whilst only using the starter pistol. I checked to see if someone else done this challenge, and it turns out there was a guy who did it, so in order not to copy him, I made it harder for myself by not upgrading the gun once. Now then, here are the rules. I am only allowed to use the starter handgun and the starter knife, so no other weapons allowed in the challenge, only those two. I cannot upgrade the pistol. I cannot buy a bigger attaché case, because I fucking hate myself. I can't upgrade the knife, but repairs are allowed because, I'm not trying to fucking die here. Body armor is allowed when I reach that part of the game. Laser sight also is allowed. I must play the game on professional difficulty, the hardest difficulty in the game. Charms are allowed, but I don't know if I'll get into it as much, but we'll see. Crafting is allowed. Flash grenades and heavy grenades are included, as well as yellow herbs are allowed. And without further ado, let's start this video. The first chapter isn't all that hard to go through. I just went through about it as normal, but the difference is that I didn't pick up the shotgun. I'll skip the rest of this part because all it is just me running around and trying to dodge enemies and conserving ammo. Oh, and I also got all 5 blue medallions for the laser sight later in the video. In chapter 2, I quickly killed the first Ganado and parried the next one because, your boy felt like the second coming of John Wick. I also killed all 3 rats for the pest control request. After I got all my stuff back, I talked with the merchant to repair my knife and sell all the treasures I had at the moment. Also forgot to show the gun, so here, as you can see, it hasn't been upgraded once, as well as the knife. Anyways, this part was funny as fuck. I kept being blown up left, right, and center. I thought I would die like fucking 50 million times, but I ended up going through it with no deaths, because I'm fresh like that, eh? After I collected the puzzle piece, I dipped to the chief's mansion, got the insignia key, and ended the second chapter with high hopes. Chapter 3 starts off with me saving the doggo from the bear trap and making my way to the door with the insignia. I met up with the merchant again and got the yellow diamond, as well as sold all the treasures I had, and the viper request as well. I also bought the recipe for a flash grenade because this will be useful for the cabin fight later on. The next couple of parts were easy. I just went down to the shooting range and gave up. I'm not gonna lie to you. After that, I move on to the quarry where I quickly dispatched the bullfucker, fuck that bitch, and collected the rest of the medallions. I got the fuel for the boat and headed off to the first mini-boss of the game, Del Lago. It was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. Just avoid the obstacles and throw your harpoons at him. It didn't take long until this fat sack of shit died and I finished chapter 3. In chapter 4, I use a flash grenade to get rid of the parasites that pop off the Ganado's head and quickly make my way over to the first puzzle to get me the apostate's head. Then I quickly make a detour to the island with all the chickens and quickly grab the golden chicken egg for a boss later in the challenge. After that, I go and get the blasphemer's head. Jesus fucking Christ, who the fuck comes up with these names? And as I head back to get the church insignia, I get the lunker bass for the merchant's request, and I get prepared for the first actual mini-boss of the game, El Gigante. Now this motherfucker was actually not that bad. I literally only died once at the beginning because I was fucking stupid. The strategy for this guy was literally just move and shoot. As long as I can avoid all of his attacks and get help from a certain doggo, I can kill this Lizzo wannabe. After dying twice to a random ass dog, I get into the church and find Ashley waiting for me with a fucking chandelier. Where the fuck did she even get that? Chapter 5 was one of the hardest parts of this challenge, mostly due to the cabin fight. Everything leading up to it was fine, but when I actually got in is when shit hit the fucking fan. On average, it would take 3 shots to stun a Ganado and let me kick him. But because the fire rate of this pistol was so goddamn low, it was hard to pull off in a tight situation. I died a couple of times and it kinda pissed me off, but after some trial and effort, I managed to kill the big ass cow motherfucker, and soon enough, Ashley came in clutch and saved me from wasting any more ammo. Now, in chapter 6, the hardest part for this chapter would have to be the Bella sisters and the Big Cheese. Both are a fucking bullet sponge, but hey, thankfully for the Bella sisters, there was 2 lamps that I could just shoot down and deal massive fire damage, so they weren't really that hard. It was just very irritating. I died a couple times, but we move on. Now we move to the final part of the village, which is fighting Torres Mendez, aka the Big Cheese. When I tell you this motherfucker is a bullet sponge, bro takes shot after shot as if it is nothing. That shit, I deal exactly 1 damage. I had to sit there shooting this man bullet after bullet, and this guy is just like eating it up. But I digress. The first phase of the boss was me just hanging up top in the upper section of the area and shooting him while occasionally soaring through the air and knifing this motherfucker in the eye. The second phase consists of me just shooting him while moving left and right, which wasn't too hard, but if I wasn't careful I would die. All I needed was patience to get this, but with enough persistence, the Big Cheese got laid out. I was so happy when this bitch died. Like, bro, I had fucking 4 bullets left. Jesus Christ. So, all in all, the village area of this game isn't too difficult with this challenge, mainly because the enemies have lower health than they do in later parts of the game. But that's not to say that it wasn't tedious. I mean, come on, I came out of the Mendez fight with only 4 bullets. You think that shit is fun? I'm just kidding. I actually had fun with this challenge, and I hope this video does well so I can keep the series going through the end. As always, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see the next part, and leave a comment down below if you've made it this far into the video. But for now, fuck off.